So enough of what your number is. Hoping that you get the general concept of what your number should look like, what factors you should consider while setting up your numbers. You probably want to write what your expenses are, left, right, and center for yourself, for your immediate family, for the people that you support, and for all the things that you need to do month by month as you mean to go on. And so I would skip so many steps. I mean, we can come back to this at a different time to have a very lengthy, detailed conversation because this is going to be a journey and I'm in this journey myself and I want to be able to share as much as that with everyone as possible. And I'm with this journey with my friends, not by myself anyway. So I'm doing it with my friends. You probably don't have access to my friends. However, you have access to me and I have access to them. And I'm able to take the lessons that we all are going through or sharing and just make it out here public for your consumption. So let's dive right at it. So assuming you have your number, your long-term number and your monthly numbers. So let's walk towards how you can secure that number. So Bamboo and Risevest offers a couple of options for savings and building your wealth in quote. And I'll start with Bamboo, which is what I use from on my day-to-day saving culture. Bamboo has two options that I think are great saving plans compared to traditional savings for commercial banks as we have in Nigeria. The Bamboo treasury bills at the end of last year was about 21% for I think any amount that you put in for 1 year, right? There's an 18% if it's like 6 months, and then there's like I'm not sure right now, maybe 12% if it's like 3 months. But Bamboo saving plans are the greatest tool that I have seen in towards saving for retirement or building your wealth or just improving your saving culture from day to day. And I'll tell you what I do. My Bamboo, if you put in ₦1,000,000, right, and maybe you buy treasury bills for 1 year for $1 million, you would get about 210,000 naira in interest over 1 year. So this just basically means, so let's assume that you put in 1 million naira every month for 12 months. So you have 12 million naira in savings in your treasury bills. You can look about treasury bills. I'll probably not be explaining that, but yeah, I'm happy to explain that at some point. But if you put in 1 million naira in treasury bills, at the end of the year, you will get 210,000 naira. So if you find a way to build your savings every month, and you get your savings to about 12 million naira in treasury bills investment, in bonds basically, you would guarantee that every month you have 210,000 naira coming into your account on a monthly basis, which of course can set you up for that cash flow that we are trying to establish here towards retirement. So the second thing that Bamboo does pretty well is the Naira savings that was introduced at the end of last year at 18% interest. So if you put in ₦1,000,000 naira, you will get 180,000 naira as interest. But unlike treasury bills, your interest will not be given to you at the end of 1 year. Your interest on Naira savings on Bamboo will be given to you on the same day, the same second, the same minute that you deposit your. So if you deposit 100,000 for instance, right, you get 8K instantly. If you deposit, whatever 18% of 100,000 is. So if you deposit 1 million naira, for instance, you get 180K credited to you like immediately, instantly. That way you have your interest upfront and then your capital is locked in for 1 year. And then you can just recycle that for the next year and the next year and the next year. Again, if you save 12 million naira on the Naira savings, you would have 180K on a monthly basis as your income or revenue for 1 year. As all other options, so there's like you can buy and trade US stocks on Bamboo app. You can trade on Nigerian stocks, which is like the most beautiful thing ever. I'll tell you why in a bit. You can do the Naira savings, you can do the treasury bills, and there's a new one that has just been introduced also at the start of this year. Some portfolio management feature that you can put in some funds there and it would automatically diversify it, so it will spread across Nigerian stocks, US stocks, treasury bills, Bamboo savings, Naira savings, and all of these kind of things. So I've been using Bamboo for the longest. I've come to know Bamboo for the longest actually. Started using them actively in the past 1 year, and it's been a good experience. However, it's not being without its ups and downs, and I would talk about that in a bit. I'll introduce how I knew Bamboo by BTBT. I use is or platform that I use is Risevest. Even though among my friends, Chaka is quite popular, but I think I've come to know that I don't know if Risevest acquired Chaka or they're in some kind of partnership or something. Yeah, but Risevest also offers incredible um, savings, investment plans. So from real estate, you decide to lock in X amount of money for maybe 15% guaranteed. You cannot exceed that. Into real estate, you can spread it into like stocks and stuff. But they also have a Naira vault, which I'm particular about saving. So I'm trying to save towards retirement, right? So I'll probably talk about the Naira vault. So Naira vault, similar to the Bamboo Naira savings and Treasury bills as well. You put in X amount of money, you get X amount of interest over the year, but they'll remit it to you on a monthly basis. So if you put in 1 million naira, for instance, and you're supposed to get one sec. So if you put in 1 million naira and you're supposed to get, let's say, 200,000 at the end of the year, they will divide the 200,000 by 12 months and remit those chunks to you in by the month. That way, you have that cash flow or whatever flow to support yourself for the month. So let's assume that you have, like I said before, 12 million naira in there, and you're getting 200k every month, right? 200k times 12, that'd be like 1.2 million naira in a year. So they will divide that 1.2 into 12 months. So that puts you back at 200k at the end of every month, which can basically cover your expenses. So basically, you can just do the maths times whatever. So if you decide that you need 500k or 1 million naira to survive on a monthly basis, what that means is you have to have 12 million times the amount of so 12 million times 12 basically. So you're probably looking at around a 50 million or 60 million naira saved in your Bamboo or Risevest or whatever to give you a monthly interest of 1 million naira per month, which should be your retirement plan or retirement inflow to ensure that, hey, your basic needs have been taken care of. So your groceries, your food, your bills, you can also support family, maybe even your kids at some point. But that's it. But the biggest challenge in all of this is how to build your savings, right? How to ensure that you have 12 million, 1 million, 50 million, 60 million in your savings at retirement. Begins to build your savings, towards retirement. And I'll just use let's find let's say a lecturer salary, for instance. So as a lecturer two, which is most likely a PhD holder or a lecturer one, even a PhD holder, your salary is like 200,000 naira as a lecturer two or 230 as a lecturer one, right? And so I do my maths. You divide that salary by the number of expenses that you have. There's no other way to do it, right? So I take out my rent. So let's assume that my rent is 700,000 naira per month, per year rather, for rent. So if you divide that by 12, by 12, so you have about 45k, 48k that you have to save every month to make up that amount of money at the end of the year. That's what I do. So I take out my rent every month from my savings. So if I take out 45k from 200,000 naira, for instance, I have like 100 and something k left, right? I pay my light bill, fill my gas, set aside my transportation, whatever. So my point is, whatever is left is what I would save, but that would usually be very little, almost nothing, because at present inflation rates, expenses are a whole lot more than our income, right? But that's how I used to approach savings before, until I decided to approach it the other way. So the first thing that I would do is, after taking up my rent of 45k, 50k, I mean, it has changed over the years. So at some point it was 35 when my rent was, I think my rent was like 5 something or something. Then it went to 600, went to 700 and or whatever. But just divide that by 12 and then it gives you a figure. Take that out from your salary. And then next thing is take out the savings. So I started to take out about 40k every year, every month for my savings, for my salary every month. So once I take out the rent, I take out savings. Then I pay my bills with whatever is left. Not pay my bills and then whatever is left I save. No, I would first take out the rent, take out my savings, and then spend whatever is left. I understand that like savings is the hardest thing to do, but it's a culture or habit that you have to do consistently to become accustomed to it. And the way you think about it is, or look at it is, to ensure that you are important, right? And you want to take care of yourself, and take care of older you. So whatever money you're able to save right now, ensure that you're investing into your older self, So that's the way I look at it. So I will take out my rent, take out the savings, and then Whatever is left, I pay my bills from it. And if it's not enough, which is never usually not, I would then, augment it from my other means of source of income in quote, and ensure that I have a balance. I try to have a balanced life while I'm also actively saving towards retirement or towards my life afterwards. So that's how you build your savings gradually on Bamboo or Risevest. Just putting chunks of 5K, 10K consistently, into that pool. And before you know it, you'll be working towards that huge sum. As you save on Risevest or on Bamboo, either from the Naira Vault on Risevest or the Naira savings or treasury bills on Bamboo, you're already automatically earning income or interest from what you have saved. So if you save 20K in the first month, you already have a whatever percent interest on that every month. Once it increases to like 50, 60, 70K, you're earning interest as your money grows. So that by the time it gets to 1M, then you're not talking about, almost 200K per year as interest from your savings, right? So and that's the way to build it. It's just little chunks, little chunks, little chunks. But once you ensure that you have that consistent habit, you would do nothing else but ensure that you put savings away, you put some chunk away towards the life that you are trying to achieve or attain to. But now the trick is you're not saving this money to spend it. You're saving this to save yourself. Prefer Bamboo and Risevest as my preferred saving platforms to regular banks. Like the interest rates on in regular banks is so terrible. I remember in 2023, we had a project, or we had a project with my friends. We put out 5 million naira in a Fidelity account, so to say, and Fidelity was giving us, I think, maybe 18 or 23K per month in interest. We moved that to an Access Bank. It was about the same. Move it to GTB, a little bit higher, but nothing more than, I don't think any of them was up to 30,000 naira in a month for 5 million naira. I don't think it was at the time. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, but then like Bamboo, Risevest will offer better interest rate, and it's just money that you can see. I mean, you can decide to break this savings at any time, like take it out at any time at a 5% fee or something. But the way I look at any money that goes into Bamboo or Risevest is I am never going to need it in the next 10, 20 years. You know that the monies that you're saving on Bamboo or Risevest or wherever you're saving it, you're not going to touch it in the next 10, 20 years. It helps you put it into perspective in such a way that you are ensuring that you're saving like what you don't need. Like you're saving, in bits, in small chunks, but consistently. So the long game is consistency, right? Then if by some means or by chance you come by higher income, you do some project on the side and you get some pay, you can augment that by throwing a chunk into that savings to augment for all of the little chunks you've been throwing in there, over time, over the months, over the years. But again, the aim is know your number, what number you need for retirement, how much you need for retirement, know what it is in terms of months, and then once you have the total amount that you need per month or by your retirement timeline, then you already know how much you should target towards, and just lock that in some high yield savings account, which is what I'm basically saying, and then the rest is just magic. Probably has more questions than answers. I'm happy to jump into some one-on-one session with a few people via Zoom, and we can talk about this in detail. I'm happy to answer your questions, provide clarifications. I would show you the inner workings of my own platform, like on my own account or profile or portfolio, as they call it in the financial world. And I'll tell you why I think the Nigerian Stock Exchange is one of the most interesting stock exchange market that you can ever find or that I've found, and how it competes and almost beats the US Stock Exchange, not in terms of volume, but just in terms of potential returns. It's an incredible investment opportunity, the Nigerian Stock Exchange market, that is. I mean, no thanks to inflation and just the sheer consumption power of our nation. It's incredible. So until next time, on my friends and I, see you.